We have one of the nicest up-and-coming running backs that will be entering the draft this year, coming out of Cal, the Golden Bears. Marcel Dancy, what is going on, man? Welcome to the show, Sports and Hip Hop with DJ Mad Max, Live 365, iHeartRadio.
Doing well, man. I appreciate you for having me.
No doubt, man. How's your day going? How's everything going? How are you enjoying this whole process on the lead up here to the draft?
Day's going well. In between workouts and just leading up to the draft, man. I'm taking it a day at a time, so I'm enjoying the process.
How was the combine, the pro days?
The pro day, it went well. My workout went very well, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Absolutely. Big things coming your way. I've checked out your highlights and you got something there. I hope you land on a great team such as the Jets, because anytime you can go to the New York Jets, they always have a successful running back crew. The rest of the team stinks, but that's okay. But we always have a successful running back: Curtis Martin, LaDainian Tomlinson, Sean Green. Have you met with the Jets at all or any other teams that may be interested?
I haven't met with the Jets. I've spoke with the Niners, the Vikings, a couple interactions with the Packers. And that's all I've heard so far.
Aaron Jones, that would be a great room for you to get in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of the Packers, Aaron Rodgers is also an alumni at Cal. Did he get the chance to come and visit you guys during your tenure at Cal?
Me and Aaron haven't met face to face yet. Hopefully that will happen soon. But anytime he's brought up in conversation, we hold him up in high regard. So if I got the opportunity to play with him, man, that would be a blessing.
That'd be big. One of the greatest of all time to do it. And I'm sure he's going to need an extra weapon in there, such as yourself, to go because you're ready to contribute. And, I think the combine, a lot of it's politics, especially when you listen to the media and they're always doing the mock drafts. They're always killing these players. At the end of the day, you never know how a player is going to turn out. Do you look at the combine? Because I look at the combine as sort of those the SATs of the NFL, whereas they're not. Why are you going to judge me on one little performance that may not even mean anything? And at the end of the day, compared to what I did in my 4 years of college, is that kind of how you look at it and other athletes look at the combine?
I feel like it's just another opportunity to show, yourself in a high performance situation. So I look at it just as another opportunity to show your worth and show what you can do. So that's how I view it.
You're a star, doing great things in high school, went to Laney College. I was reading that you almost had 2,000 rushing yards in a season. That's very impressive. Almost coming CJ 2K there, going on the way to enroll to Cal, being a walk-on. How was it just learning from your time in Laney and transferring and being a walk-on at Cal? What was your mindset going into Cal and bringing what you were bringing to that team?
My mindset going into Cal was just to, really take over, be an asset on and off the field, and just lead by example and, be one of the best Cal football players to ever walk the campus. And hopefully I've done that. And, Laney has taught me, to be ready whenever your number is called. And, some of my talent I will. And I feel like I've grown through that at Cal, and, I'm ready to do that at the next level.
Coach Justin Wilcox, what did he teach you more about life than football?
Yeah, he just taught me, his famous words is keep your knees bent. So what that means is regardless of what happens, just be flexible, be ready to go, whatever's thrown at you, just be ready to attack it and, finish whatever you got to do, finish on top. Whatever you may have to go through, just allow yourself to be ready for everything.
Who's a running back that you studied growing up? Because I learned from LeVeon Bell when hearing about his influences that he always studied Curtis Martin because he was always following behind and putting his hand on the person that was in front of him, whether it was a lineman or a fullback. Who was someone that you studied their technique in running behind the line?
Well, I studied, the old school backs all the way to Gale Sayers, Eric Dickerson, Marshall Faulk, Tony Dorsett, and the many more, Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith. A lot of those guys is who I really studied a lot and just took bits and pieces from and, added it to my game. So I just watched the way they went about it and applied it.
Earl Campbell is someone also that's underrated at his position who played for the Houston Oilers. And just thinking about it, who would you say is the greatest running back of all time, even having a not so well offensive line? Who would you say is the top running back?
That's a tough one, but, I would have to give it to the original Gale Sayers. He's the one that kind of started it for everybody. So I had to give it to the original.
The GOAT. He's the GOAT for you.
Yeah.
Big time. And you're also doing great things off the field. I heard about the foundation and organization that you set up, nonprofit, during the pandemic, it made you want to go out there and do great things for the community and giving out money to those for the students kindergarten through fifth grade for those students who got a B plus or higher average. You gave them money for groceries.
Yeah, and I was actually able to kind of take the grade part out of it during the pandemic and just help as many families because so many people in the community help raise money, and that allowed us to give even more help to additional families. So it was a great thing that we all did as a collective, and we just was able to help everybody, which was a great thing.
I heard that you ran into Usher when you were in New Orleans helping out.
Yeah, I did. That was a good surprise. So that's just another part of being a part of that group. You get to meet different people and different people with the same mindset.
How was it meeting Usher?
It was good,
It was
man.
good. He was cool.
Yeah, down to earth dude.
One of the greatest R&B singers. Throughout your time, are there any other artists that you met throughout your travels and doing things for charity?
Um, not any other artists. I met Tim Tebow on that same trip that you're talking about, so I was able to meet him and go to the Saints Stadium. So that was a great experience just to see and hear the crowd in there. So it was good.
What game, when you look back throughout your time in college, that you established yourself at Cal and you said that this was my game, Marcel Dancy is here? You made your presence felt at Cal.
I feel like I made my presence felt against Washington in 2019, and I feel I made a really good exit in my Stanford game in this past season. So I feel like I came in strong and I left strong.
That's big. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens further in your career here. And how do you guys, when you just block all the noise out, what's your process in blocking out all the media? Because the media could play a big mental game with you guys because they're always judging people. What's your method of just staying away from that?
Just understanding that everybody has an opinion, and you just got to stay focused on what you're doing and what your goals are every day. Regardless of what you're doing, people are gonna have something to say. So I don't take it personal. I just either let that fuel me or I just block it out, like you said.
That's the main thing to do out there. Now, what was your major when you majored at Cal? What was your major?
My major was American Studies with the focus of innovation and consumerism. So I wanted to get into the business side of things.
You're going to be doing things on the side. Have you thought about further expanding your foundations that you already started throughout the pandemic?
Yeah, just getting that on its feet and growing that, and then also developing business that I'm thinking about right now and just getting those on their feet.
Have you been in contact with anyone with the NFL about potentially even getting some NFL players on board with your foundation?
Not yet, but I've been thinking about that. So that's one of the next steps I'll be taking.
That'll be big. Just expanding the whole platform that you have there. When you were in those locker rooms preparing for your games, who was in your playlist?
Man, I would I'll have some Tupac. I would have sometimes I have Marvin Gaye. I'll expand my music, but just whatever kept me calm, cool, and collective at the moment, and just got me focused. Not too high, not too low.
I like that. Tupac, the greatest rapper of all time, especially University of Cal. That's important to have that in there. Pay a tribute to the West Coast. And I'm just looking forward to everything that you got going here. And have you thought about it? If you get called on draft night and in one of the later rounds, what's going to be going through your mind?
That there's a lot of work to do. It's step one, and I've been working all my life to kind of start again, and that's what I'm excited for. Just the work and the process of what I'm going to be doing next for whatever team I'm on.
Growing up, I do have to say this because it's always interesting to hear the teams that you're a fan of growing up. Who were you a fan of growing up?
I was an Oakland Raiders fan, man.
Oakland Raider fans.
I'm a fan of every team now. So
yeah, whoever takes you, that's going to be your team. That's important right there. How you feel about the team moving to Las Vegas?
And that was a tough one for the city, but we loyal fans, man. So we followed them, but yeah, that was a tough one.
Yeah, because it's always Oakland, but back in the day, you were also in Los Angeles. Did you follow the team when they were in LA too?
Yeah. Back when they had Bo Jackson, Marcus Allen, and Eric
Howie
Dickerson.
Long.
Yeah.
Great teams, great Raider teams. It's crazy how they're in Las Vegas now, but some of the fans were a little ticked off by it, but some of them followed, and it's important that you stayed with your team. And is there anything else here that you want to cover that we haven't covered here today? Because I know we brought up everything, especially about the 40 dash that you wanted to cover earlier. We talked about your college highlights. Anything else, man?
Yeah, I just want to say, I had the opportunity to be blessed to play under and learn from Coach Bill Musgrave and his pro offense for 2 years. And I feel like that's allowed me to have an advantage over, the rest of the class because I was actually in a pro system and learned the ins and outs from, my great coach. So, that's what I kind of want to put out there last.
When you're speaking into fruition, you're going to get that call in one of the rounds in draft night. You're going to be the next up and coming running back. And just, it doesn't matter where you're drafted because look at Brady and all these guys that were picked last. Doesn't matter where you are in the draft. We have so many flops in the first round. You always got to look at it from wherever I'm picked. I'm just going to be proven. I'm going to prove myself wherever I'm picked.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll be ready for whatever happens.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to you getting called on the draft night. One of them, it's going to happen. We've got to speak that into existence. And even if you don't, you can't even think about it. Even if you don't, look at the Patriots. They always go with the undrafted candidates and they still turn into superstars. So even if you go undrafted, which I don't think you're going to, I think you're going to be called, doesn't matter because you're going to prove yourself either way.
I appreciate that, man.
Absolutely, man. Marcel Dancy, I want to thank you for coming on the show here today. Shout out to your manager and agent for helping set this up. You're always welcome on the show anytime you have something to speak about, especially with your nonprofit organizations. You're doing great things out here for the community, and it's always rare to see that. And I tip my hat off to you for doing that. Salute to you.
Man, I appreciate it. Salute to what you're doing as well.
I appreciate that, man. And you can let them know where they can follow you on Instagram, Twitter, every platform that you have, because I know that if people want to get involved in your nonprofit organization, that they can contact you personally.
Yeah, so all my usernames are Mufasa23X. Mufasa.23X. That's all my usernames to all my platforms.
And that you can contact them there as well if you want to get involved with his nonprofit organization. And Marcel Dancy, thanks again for coming on the show here today. I look forward to hearing your name called on one of the draft days.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you.
No doubt, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Stay safe. All right.
All right, you too.
Yeah. Peace out, man.